Hello. Welcome to Healthy by Choice, the podcast that's here to ignite your belief in what's truly possible for your health and well-being. Hi, I'm Dr. Kerry, and what lights me up is empowering others. My mission has always been to inspire you to take your health seriously and give you the tools to understand your body on a deeper, more meaningful level. In each episode, we'll explore the healing power of nature, the role of real food as medicine, and how intentional movement can restore balance to your body and mind. So whether you're on a journey of prevention, recovery, or simply seeking more vitality, this podcast is your reminder. You hold the power to heal. Thanks so much for joining me. Hi, friends. Welcome back. I am super excited to have you with me. And as always, I greatly appreciate you being here. And this week, I get to interview someone that I have been looking forward to meet. She is on my social media. She's in my community, all these things that have drawn me to this incredible woman, this vibrant woman. And so with that, I would like to introduce you to Caprice Crebar. And Caprice, welcome. Thanks for being here.
I am so excited to be here. And it's fun that for 2 years we've been interacting with one another and just becoming friends naturally through social media. And today's the first day I got to meet you live.
Isn't it fun?
Thank you.
And also, I would like to just say what a time to be alive, where we can meet someone on a computer.
Yeah, I know. And we don't live far from each other now, which is cool. So maybe the next step is in person.
Well, I am coming to a class that you're hosting next month. So, yes, indeed, I will introduce myself. I'll give you a hug.
I can't wait.
So, Caprice, what draws me to you is your positivity. I have to say, I am always looking for someone who's uplifting, who focuses on positivity as well as health. And I feel like you do that really well. And thank you for being on my socials. And also, I don't want to say the word preach, but you really speak to the healthy woman specifically. Would you say that that's true?
Absolutely. That makes me feel like I'm doing something right because that is the message that I'm hoping is received out there. My company is called the Joy of Wealth, WELLth,
Nice.
because wealth, I mean, wouldn't you agree that wealth is the true measure of your success?
Absolutely. Bottom line.
Yeah. And I run a women's networking organization also called Heartlink Network Women. And because I see so many entrepreneurial women burning the candle end to end, just really, the ebbs and flows and the highs and lows of entrepreneurship, it does take a toll. And because we tend to be so focused on our business goals, we can neglect the health goals that we all want and don't always pour into because of distractions of life. So that's why I created the Joy of Wealth, WELLth. And it really applies to anyone, whether you're an entrepreneur or not. And
Right.
so my goal is to help people with a really a whole life approach to vitality and energy and thriving as we age through every season of life.
I love that. And we need you. We need you, Caprice.
Thank you.
Yeah. So tell us, well, where should we start? Should we go with the wellness, well, either way, either one, the wealth being our wellness, right? Wellness, health is wealth. And so
Mhm.
you use that in both. I think what I'm hearing you say is when you're working with women in the Heartlink network, it's like, let's not burn out, let's care for our health. And then the other group of people, who is that? Who are your other people that you attract?
So, our what I being from Benicia, California, it's my hometown. I actually raised my boys after moving to Southern California for 25 years, and now I'm back to be closer to my mom and my family here. And it's been so fun to be back in Benicia, where my roots are. And it's also a reminder that our health doesn't only affect us. I moved here well, it's been a year and a half now because my dad passed away. And so, I realized through that process that, our health really doesn't only affect us. It affects all of those who love us, who work with us, who play with us. I mean, when we feel healthy and energized and clear-headed, we can show up better, differently for the people that we love and who love us. And when you have health, that I like to say sustainable health, because every day, depending on the way we fuel our body and take care of our body, the choices we make, could mean another day for us, another day where we can show up as our best self in business and in life, I should say. And our health shapes everything we do, and it shapes whether we can do things more easily, like traveling or just enjoying time with friends, and playing, getting on the floor and playing with your grandchildren, or even your own children. Getting on the floor can sometimes be hard. Staying independent and just being able to better enjoy everyday life and not have to be taken away or taken out, God forbid, because our health is declining. So I like to help people's health accelerate and not decline
Right.
as a wellness empowerment coach.
Well, you and I are very aligned there. And I have often thought for myself personally, my goal wasn't as much to have longer life as it was to have good days while I'm here. And I know that longevity is a big word and people want to live longer and all that. And I just want to inject yes and feel good. And I think
Mhm.
it's assumed live longer and feel good. And as I age, I'm 56 now, I've just never felt better. I can say that
Mhm.
wholeheartedly, absolutely truthfully. I eat really well. I exercise just enough. And yes, when I go over, I know it's too much. When I eat vegetables, I feel better. So you know what? I eat vegetables. And I work with people who often will ask me about pain, right? Because I'm a chiropractor and I'm a health coach. And between pain and wanting to lose weight, those two things I completely understand and I really want to help with. I also want to stop causing it, right? So it's like I will help you get out of pain and you have to be the person who stops causing it. So when we find someone like Caprice to work with and we find somebody who helps us motivate ourselves and have someone to work with, right? That accountability partner. Maybe sometimes there's information. That sustainable health. I love your phrase. The sustainable health is really where it's at. And I say that as a 56-year-old, right? And
Mhm.
working with an older population. I often brag that my oldest patient is 106.
Oh, that's amazing. Wow. Yeah, that's my goal. We know that we can live 100 plus. It really depends on how you care for your body. It's number one. And we live in this fast-paced, confusing world, and it seems like things have just become faster and faster and more, and it's hard to just wade through it all. And it distracts us from paying attention to the top priority, which is our body, because without our health and our mental health, our physical health, um, nothing else really matters. What do there's that quote that says, uh, most people have 1,000 wishes, and the sick person only has one, to be well again. And so, we know a lot of people that are in that position, with themselves, a parent, a child, which is, can't even imagine. So my goal is to really help people prioritize their health,
Mhm.
prioritize plants. You don't have to be vegan, but prioritize plants. And if you're doing that and you're constantly making progress, because it is tough in this world to be a perfect eater,
Oh,
perfect, fitness person and all that. But the goal is always to make progress and not focus so much on perfection, because perfection, usually equals quitting or not progressing because we're stuck in that perfection mode.
Right.
So I always say make progress, not perfection. No, don't worry about perfection. And good, better, best. If you could be good, be good. If you could be better than good, be better. And if you could make best choices, do that. But
Okay.
pick good, better, or best, and you'll be making progress.
I'm going to have you in my back of my head now. Could I be making a better choice? I'm a pretty good chooser when I plan ahead of time, but when it's the grab and go things, I'm like, okay, what's the better choice? What's the better choice?
You know,
Is
I've been in health and wellness for 20 years now, and I started in a health and wellness company that I'm still a partner of, and I still highly recommend as one of the number one ways to start impacting your health immediately and very simply is with a company called the Juice Plus Company. And they have a very slim product line. It's just all, I basically call myself a plant pusher because, we live in a world where people just, most people are eating 3 to 5 different plants every day. And most people, I would challenge you to count on your fingers or use hash marks on a piece of paper how many different fruits, vegetables, berries, grains, do you eat on a regular basis throughout your life? So most people ask, how many did you have today or how many did you have this week? Though think about how many do you cook or prepare on a regular basis your entire life? Usually people have 15 or so that they make over and over and over and over again. And it may be carrots, broccoli, peas, the things that we normally eat, make it, for dinner. But it's 15 oranges, apples, bananas, maybe some berries, and we repeat them over and over and over again when there's thousands of different kinds, all with tens of thousands of micronutrients that our body knows how to use to benefit our health. And so that's why, I've always been such a proponent of a lot of different health and wellness modalities and solutions, but the Juice Plus concentrated plants, it's in capsules, chewables, drinkable form. It's the easiest way. And I've been doing that 20 years. And I think that at 58 years old this year, I feel like I'm in my 30s. I mean, I don't have most of the things I hear women complaining about, especially. I don't experience them. I sleep great. I have high energy, nonstop, a mental clarity. I great skin and hair, and I hardly ever get sick. Strong immune system, and I had no menopausal symptoms except for weight gain. You do have to adjust, the way your body doesn't absorb things the same or take things the same anymore. So there are adjustments that need to be made, but I do believe it's a healthy lifestyle and that consistent wide variety of produce every single day in my body. So just a quick little plug for that because I highly recommend it. It impacts your gut health immediately, your brain health, and over time will help you with that sustainable health.
good job, atta girl. So how do people work with you? In what way do they come to find out what works for them, how they can work with you in other ways? How does that happen?
So I created something called the WELLth formula. So again, I like to repeat WELLth so people don't confuse it with finance. But the WELLth formula consists of 6 components. And I do have a wealth check. It's a form, simple form, if anyone would like to fill it out and just assess, what of these areas maybe they would like support in because we all know, the having someone that can help keep you accountable, that knows how to empower you because we get stuck. It's that hamster wheel, and so many people right now. I'm not going to name products or names of any of these types of solutions that people are using for weight loss these days, and tying it to better health, because obviously we know that extra weight can lead to things like just increased risk of things like diabetes and heart disease and so forth. So losing weight is important, but there are a lot of people using a quick fix for that right now. And if you are one of those people, I highly suggest you increase your nutrient intake from plants, because you'll be eating less, and that really can impact in a negative way, your longevity and that sustainable health. So I honor, the choices that people make in that area, because having extra weight is a risk factor for so many other diseases. I just encourage people to be sure that if they couldn't adjust their lifestyle before, or didn't have time, or couldn't make it happen, that now it's more important than ever. So that's how do you work with me? So if you wouldn't mind sharing, I'll share you the link to my wealth check, and
Sure.
your audience can fill that out and assess where they're at, and they can request a complimentary consultation. But I'd be happy to share the wealth formula here if you'd like.
Sure, both. Let's absolutely, and in the show notes, you can say it, and then also we'll type it in where they can get to your website to get this check. It's called the Wealth Check.
Yes.
And yeah, what is this formula? This six component formula?
Oh, before I go into it, you were talking about that you believe it's not necessarily the longevity of your life, it's being able to enjoy every day, which is similar to the concept of showing up as your best self in business and in life, every day if you can, most days of however long your life is. And they also, I love the quote that says it's not the years in your life, it's the life in your years.
Agreed.
And so I ask people to just think about the picture of themselves in 20 years, or in, when you're 80 or 75, in those years when it seems like a lot of people are declining, or at least on a lot of medications, going to a lot of doctor's appointments. I know I don't want to be at that age and having my life revolve around doctor's appointments. So um, I ask you, think about the vibrant woman that or man that you'd like to be at that age, and just close your eyes just for 10 seconds and envision that person, and ask yourself, what do I see in this person?
I know,
And
I know immediately how I see myself
how?
hiking, trekking up some big hills with a smile,
Yeah, yeah.
feeling good, loving it.
Right. And strong, because to do that at that age, strength is so important. And so when I imagine myself in the years ahead, similar to you, we hike all over. We love just hiking all the trails around Northern California, and along the beach in Southern when we're there. And I think about doing that and being able to be physically strong without the aches and pains that a lot of people start getting as they age. And I know people in their 50s, my age, that are feeling that way. And so being strong, clear-minded, and independent. I mean, independence is so important, because I a lot of people are being cared for in their older age. So, that active woman, that, connected person that still has community and can go places and do things when asked. I mean, that's how I see myself too, and full of life. And I think most people see themselves like that as well. And I like to joke that, I've never heard anyone say, I'm really aiming for more fatigue and more pills and less fun.
Exactly. More doctor's appointment and more medications.
Right, right. So I help people avoid that, or not avoid it. We're all going to age, and we're all going to have some aches and pains at some point, but to limit, to minimize that, so that we can go as long as possible doing the things that we love. So the Joy of Wealth formula, it's based on the word wealth. So these are the components that I work with people on, and we assess, the areas. Some areas they may like have nailed it. I mean, it's like they're really their lifestyle movement's incredible. They're always out, they're hiking, they're active. But maybe there's another area, energy from nourishment, that they need support on, and they need accountability because we know most people know what's required for good health. I mean, don't you think everybody knows
Mm,
the basics of being healthy?
within the basics, yes.
Yeah. And yet, it's still difficult to be consistent and to prioritize those healthy behaviors and so forth. So, having a wellness empowerment coach, an accountability coach, someone that just isn't telling you what to do, but that helps you find the answers from within so that you become intrinsically motivated to make sustainable change, that's what I love doing. And so, the Joy of Wealth formula is 6 components. So, W is whole body vitality. So
Mm.
this isn't just about one thing. We want to impact all of the components, the body systems that support our health. I mean, if we aren't mentally clear and we have a lot of brain fog, and a lot of times it's coming from the gut health. I mean, so you can drink a cup of coffee, get a quick fix and stimulate yourself mentally and just get that energy boost. But that crashes quick, and it's not the root of the problem. So helping to improve the health of your gut will impact your brain health, will impact your immune system. So we're talking about whole body vitality, not just one thing. E is energy
That in
from
and of
nourishment.
itself was a mic drop, by the way.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
That was a mic drop. W, the whole body vitality, and the
Yes.
fact that it comes from your gut, that in and of itself, I apologize for cutting you off, but that was like worth marinating on just that.
Oh, good. That's only my first one. I'm glad you
Yeah,
liked
yeah,
it.
yeah. So E, sorry about
But
that.
it is key. I don't I believe that in general, people aren't thinking about whole body vitality. They're thinking about the thing that ails them at the moment.
Right, exactly. That's why I just really
Mhm.
feel deeply that when we get it, that from our gut is where we're shining from. That's where our skin comes from, our hair comes from, our mood comes from, our sleep comes from. I mean, that the W gets an asterisk in my book.
Good.
Right.
Okay, well, the E, wait till you hear the E. So the E is energy from nourishment. So I already touched on that, so I'm not going to go deep into that, but it is so key. And since you brought up gut health is dependent on our nourishment from whole foods as much as possible. I don't believe in perfection. I think it's if you try to be perfect, you'll never be. So I do believe in progress and consistency. So energy, I hear so many people complaining of low energy. Everyone's tired, everyone's exhausted. Everyone needs more energy. And how can I have more energy? And it's from your nourishment, how you fuel your body. And, I believe that plants were put on this earth, for our body to use. And it doesn't mean you have to be vegan. I'm not vegan. I choose, lean protein. Protein is really, really key. And I know it's kind of a trendy buzzword right now, protein, protein, protein. But I'm telling you, especially in postmenopausal years, it is essential. And I can talk more about that later or on another call. But I encourage you, and I can help you also track your macros, and you will be very, very surprised to see where you're um, throwing yourself off daily, from being able to lose weight. I've discovered this myself, doing this, for my own health. Now that in postmenopause, I'm changing, even up leveling more. How I make healthy choices, and then L, lifestyle movement. Movement is so key. We go our whole entire lives having that like guilty, on the shoulder because I didn't go work out today. I mean, everyone deals with that. And rather than thinking work out, because it has the word work in it, who wants to work? I choose lifestyle movement. So how are you incorporating movement into your lifestyle? Whether that be going on hikes like you love to do, Kelly, and I love to do, or going to your kickboxing gym or your yoga studio, wherever it is, or just going for a jog or chair yoga. I mean, you can stay put and do things online these days. So it's very easy to get more movement into your life. The second L is life-giving relationships. As I mentioned earlier, I run a popular women's networking group. It's an organization, actually, not just a group, but an organization called Heartlink Network Women. I've been running women's business networking communities for 17 years, and I own Heartlink Network Women. And we have 5 chapters in California. We're looking to expand around the nation. So I'm coaching leaders to be leaders in that organization. And what I do know, and I do believe that's poured into my health, is that I have life-giving relationships. And it's so important if you feel like you're isolated to get involved with groups in your community, even as simple as going to a workshop. One of the wonderful stores in Benicia called the Filling Station Goods and Gifts. I partner with them to do once a month sourdough bread and gut health workshops. And our next one's June 24th. But this shop is so adorable. All sustainable goods. And she does all kinds of little classes. I think she has like a scarf tying class coming up, but just some little things like that. There's a club in Benicia. I'm using Benicia because that's my hometown, and I live near there. But they've got the Friendship Club, the Benicia Friendship Club. I just spoke to 100 women on this topic at the Benicia Friendship Club a month or so ago, and just interacting with people, even a phone call. I know a lot of people think, oh, everyone's busy. I'm not going to call them. They're too busy. I would encourage you to call somebody. Make a list, 3 people a week. It doesn't have to be somebody you talk to regularly. Reconnect with a friend or family member and just say hello, because I know that can mean even more to that person. So just that connection, social connections improve health. And then the second L, or the T, sorry, is thoughts that support you. So our mindset is key because we can easily take ourselves down the negative neural pathway every day, multiple times a day. And so what I encourage is that if you find yourself going that direction, and this takes a lot of practice. And so you do have to train yourself, get a coach that can help you with it as well. That if you feel yourself going down the negative neural pathway, because every time you do that, it strengthens that pathway. It strengthens, and then it becomes just almost, second nature just to go down that negative pathway. So you want to reverse it and be in gratitude. It's the easiest way to create thoughts that support you on a more consistent basis is to shift to anything. It could be your hand. Like most people, they don't even think about all the things that your hands do for you. Some people don't have hands. So just even think, I'm so grateful for all that I could do, with this hand. I mean, as simple as that, if you can't think of anything else, and it automatically shifts your brain into um, the thoughts going and strengthening your positive neural pathways. So, and you can't have a negative thought in gratitude. So that's a practice that is worth, everyone making a priority. And then the H in wealth is habits that sustain you. So it's really the culmination of all of this because there's habits that you will create in each of the wealth components. And H really ties it all up in a bow because these habits are going to sustain your health throughout your life.
Wow. I love this, Caprice. I mean, first of all, I want anyone who's the least bit interested to go and take this wealth check and get on your website because I can tell just the feel. Again, like I said, just seeing you on socials, it's so empowering. It's so uplifting. It's like that women's empowerment movement, like I just love, love, love women pouring into women. And this is exactly what I'm getting from your message. And I just feel so uplifted hearing you say that. And I'm imagining my audience contacting you, working with you, and just seeing how they can improve their lives in such a positive way that does not come from, oh, it's another thing I have to do, it's another negative or should, that the
Mhm.
spin of we can love ourselves into wellness, the spin of we can make healthy choices easily with support and guidance. I love it. And I want to thank you so much for what you do, for being here with me. I am getting ready to stop the recording. So before I do, is there something else you want to say? And also tell them the website.
Sure. Well, first of all, Carrie, this was really a blessing. I am so thrilled to take our relationship even deeper. And because that is one of my key messages as well, always add value wherever you go, to help other people rise. I believe in being servant-hearted, that being a heart-forward leader, in whatever you do, business or community building, whatever it is, being a heart-forward leader is really important because it makes you lead with care, and it's kind of a we not me mentality that I like to promote. And I love that you said love yourself to health. Is that what you said? Is
Yes,
that the phrase?
yourself into that.
Love yourself into that. I absolutely, oh, I'm probably going to borrow that from you. But Carrie, I imagine you and I will be doing more of this together, going forward. And so my website is The Joy of Wealth, WELLTH.com. And so you could find me there. I will be incorporating my wealth check there soon, but that is a separate link. So we'll put that in the show notes.
Great.
And I'm not going to rattle it off here, but that's where you can actually reach out to me, do the wealth assessment to see where some of these areas you may benefit from elevating them. And I'm here to help whenever you need me.
Oh, this is fantastic. Thank you, Caprice. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much, Carrie.